Organizations are complex, socio-technical systems designed to accomplish specific purposes and goals. They are concepts, imagined realities, that exist in the minds of the people involved. That imagined reality includes explicit knowledge of how to accomplish the activities and make informed decisions throughout the organization. These methods are communicated to people within the organization through a combination of formal and informal messages and media, which are interpreted by individuals based on their unique personality, education, cognitive abilities, and other factors. Guided by their thoughts and feelings about these messages, people undertake activities and make decisions to achieve the desired results, thus creating the objective reality. It is their actions and decisions that create the sustainable value for stakeholders. Ultimately, organization design includes everything that people see and hear within the organization that influences their behavior. High-performing systems are explicitly defined, aligned, integrated, and continuously evolving. Organizations are composed of a wide variety of interconnected activities, including understanding customers, designing and developing products, planning, managing operations, evaluating and improving the supply chain, developing and engaging the workforce, measuring and analyzing performance, and developing and deploying strategies, among others. When well-designed, they encourage and facilitate the coordinated cross-functional activities and decisions of large numbers of humans toward common goals and objectives. Unfortunately, in our efforts to create predictable results, organization designers have often created systems that are slow, cumbersome, and overly rigid, with unnecessary constraints, resulting in predictably poor performance. So prevalent are these poor designs that many people can't imagine systems being effective in today's modern, dynamic, and uncertain environment. Fortunately, systems can be designed to properly fit and enhance a wide variety of activities and contexts, including those that require flexibility, creativity, custom solutions, and agility, as well as those that need strict compliance for safety and quality results. The trick is to understand the nature of the activities and decisions being designed. The definition of systematic varies depending on the nature of the system being designed, including the degree to which the work is predictable versus ambiguous, and the level of human involvement. If the work is controllable and outputs are predictable, such as manufacturing physical products, then a high level of structure and standardization is appropriate. If, on the other hand, the work is creative and ambiguous, such as strategy development or product design and development, a less structured and more collaborative approach, utilizing flexible tools and techniques, is appropriate. Well-designed systems incorporate the optimal amount and type of structure to facilitate effective performance while avoiding the addition of unnecessary constraints. Systematic methods are explicit and repeatable knowledge on how best to do a particular activity or make a decision. Consequently, it is shareable, teachable, and thus scalable. And it can be measured, proactively managed, evaluated, and improved. Well-designed systematic methods are aligned with critical aspects of the organization's unique context, including its strategy, organizational culture, regulatory environment, workforce capabilities, and other relevant factors. They are integrated with other appropriate systems to enable coordinated actions across the organization, forming a coherent and interconnected enterprise. And they continually evolve to improve performance and remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. It is not enough to come up with a systematic, aligned, integrated, and evolving approach. It must also be communicated effectively to the people involved in the activities and those making the decisions. To be effective, the design must be both technically effective for the activities and decisions and compelling to humans. Systems are communicated through a variety of formal and informal messages and media, including observations of what other people say and do. These various verbal and visual inputs inform how to perform the activities and make decisions throughout the organization. Think about a typical day in your organization. As you work, you are exposed to numerous inputs from various sources. You have instructions on how to perform your job, including work instructions, policies, and digital systems designed to facilitate your work. You have metrics that provide feedback as to how well you are doing your job. Then, during a video conference call, your boss outlines specific expectations, priorities, feedback, and advice. After that, you text with a coworker who shares their views on how to succeed, along with the latest gossip. Did you hear who is getting promoted? You then receive an email outlining the incentive system and bonus structure, including the relevant criteria and measurements. Embedded in these messages are some of the norms, values, and expectations of the organization, as well as new and emerging directions and practices. All too often, the messages are conflicting, leaving individuals to decide for themselves which to follow. To be effective, the messages and media that communicate the approaches must be aligned with the desired behaviors, consistent with each other, and create a clear and accurate picture in the minds of the people. Ultimately, organizational design encompasses all the information that people see and hear that influences their behavior. The task of the organization designer is to design approaches, along with the messages and media, that convey the approach to the people for their interpretation and action. To do that effectively requires a thorough understanding of the people involved. Between the imagined reality and the objective reality are humans who interpret the messages and decide what to do and say. The effectiveness of a design is determined by how well the interpretation of the design and resulting behavior match the original intent. People are complex combinations of nature and nurture, including personality, education, experience, cultural background, cognitive ability, emotions, and motivations. Consequently, people interpret what they see and hear in the organization differently. To create effective approaches and messages that achieve our objectives, we must understand what it is like to be the people we are designing for and how they think and feel. Personality traits influence the fit for culture and work activities, as well as the ability to adapt to change. Education and experience shape how and what people think about what they see and hear, including values and the ability to acquire new knowledge. Country culture influences how people perceive the world and interact with one another. Cognitive ability influences how individuals perceive and interpret the information they encounter. Emotions and motivations affect attitudes, decisions, and behaviors at work. When you combine a diverse group of individuals to form an organization, the potential permutations of social interactions become even more complex. Not only do individuals interpret the approaches and messages differently, but they also influence each other's interpretations. Ultimately, how they think and feel about the messages affects their behavior, what they say and do. What people say and do is observable and measurable, and thus can be used to determine the effectiveness of the designs. If there is a mismatch between the desired and observed behavior, then either the system needs to be adjusted, or the messages and media need to be revised and then retested until the behavior matches your intent. Organizations require individuals who can not only execute activities and make decisions aligned with their overall purpose and objectives, but also collaborate effectively to deliver the desired value to stakeholders. While many propose lists of desired behaviors, such as commitment, teamwork, integrity, and trust, each organization gets to decide for itself what behaviors it needs to create the objective reality it desires. What people think and feel about the approaches and messages influences what they say and do, and that behavior produces the results. Organizations are intended to be rational enterprises designed to achieve specific outcomes or objective reality. We have known for a long time that investors do not create wealth on their own. Instead, people within the organization create value for customers who are willing to pay more for the products and services than it costs to produce them, providing a return on the owner's investment. A quick thought experiment reveals the interdependence of these three groups. If one of the three groups is unsuccessful and decides to withdraw from the arrangement, the value produced for all three groups collapses. Many organizations also rely on the performance of suppliers and partners to create value for their customers. While some organizations adopt a short-term, transactional approach to suppliers, others have found that mutually beneficial arrangements can be designed to enable suppliers to improve and create even greater value for the organization. Some organizations have recognized that their success depends on society providing an educated and healthy workforce, the rule of law, and an economic environment with consumers who can afford to purchase products and services. Finally, the natural environment has emerged as a key stakeholder that impacts our ability to create wealth today and in the future. Each organization's leaders must choose which stakeholders they will serve and how. Of course, they must then live with the consequences.